Hi everybody. Good afternoon from my side. Very excited to address all of you. I'm sure with 100 days to CAT, all of us are looking to maximize our score. So I thought I would just share a couple of strategies and tips, with all of you. This is based on most student queries that we get, So I've just tried to compile them into 3 or 4 slides. Should take not more than 20 minutes. I'll be happy to take questions. You can just put them on the chat box. If Amit sir, if you can confirm that's the right way to for them to communicate with us.
Yes, that's fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Students may put their queries on chat and we will take them up after the end of the presentation.
Sure. I thought I will first start off with knowing where we need to go. This is a 2-hour exam. All of us know that now. More or less, we should have last year's exam pattern, which is about 76 questions. Correct? Students always worry, I want to score more, I want to score more, but there is no definite number that they have in mind. So I thought I will first start off with laying out very clearly what is needed, right? Different people will have different aspirations. We have put those broad numbers on the screen as of now, correct? So for example, if you are targeting a 98 percentile, okay, I'm taking 98 percentile because that is good enough for you to get calls to most of the IIMs. For an engineer, maybe you can look at the 99 percentile mark, correct? People who are struggling to clear cutoffs, I'm sure most of us here will have a particular section that we are troubled by, correct? So I put the 85 percentile mark, which is a very safe sectional cutoff. So for example, let's look at VARC, right? VARC cutoff says 24 marks was good enough to get 85 percentile, which means if you answer 8 questions, you are actually going to get, and 8 questions correct, obviously, you are going to get the 85 percentile mark. Now look at LRDI again. If you get only 6 questions right, correct, which is 1.5 sets or actually one long set, you are through with the 85 percentile mark, right? So my first suggestion to you, take a screenshot of these numbers. This will help you set your goals very clearly, right? And suppose today you are at a 65 percentile in QA or a 70 percentile in BA, you should set the next benchmark. So look at what happens at 85 percentile. Let's look at 90 percentile. In my personal experience, I found that this chart actually relieves a lot of pressure because somehow now, okay, getting only 50 marks, getting only 18 questions right in an 2-hour exam looks much more doable as saying, oh, I have to score, a 98 percentile or a 99 percentile, right? So let's stick to actual numbers. That was my first message to you. My second message, I'm going sectionals. So VARC is my forte. I'm going to talk about each section in a bit. So here I'm addressing the query, how should we prepare for this particular section, right? So my answer is pretty straightforward. There are no concepts to learn per se in VARC. Same applies to even DLR, correct? So VARC is best practice as sprint tests. Now what do I mean by that? So a lot of people say, okay, practice 1 RC a day, practice 2 RCs a day. My suggestion is a little different here. I would say you might practice RCs only 3 times a week, depending upon your time available. Some of you might be having time on hand, so you can actually do it daily. So give yourself a sectional test. So how do you improve in RC? Take 4 RCs, let it replicate the CAT pattern. Give yourself 25 minutes to 30 minutes and try to see how many of these RCs can you crack. Correct? Because that's what is going to happen on the day of the CAT, that you will have about 25 to 30 minutes to tackle the 4 RCs. Similarly, whenever you're practicing VA, give yourself 8 questions, correct? And give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes and see how many of these questions can you crack. Okay. Maybe once a week or twice a week, you can take a VA sectional test. Give yourself 40 minutes and see how do you tackle the entire VA section. Correct. So that's the method I would suggest that you use. Get used to practicing in a time format as far as VARC is concerned. Now, people who have seen last year's paper, people who have spoken to other CAT takers, or maybe you are a CAT repeat taker yourself, you would know that the level of VARC has gone up. Correct. Last year's passages were indeed very, very difficult. Correct. And I would say maybe for the first time in 10 to 12 years, I am sure there were a lot of mentors themselves who could not attempt all the 4 RCs in the given time limit. Correct. So my suggestion is the one factor that will change or determine your VRC score is if you can take the right decision, which one RC will I not attempt. Okay. So take it for a fact that attempting all 4 RCs is going to be a very difficult task, if not an impossible task. You should know how to recognize that one RC that you are going to skip, right? That skipping decision is the most important decision in the VRC section. If you enter a wrong RC, you are going to spend 8 to 10 minutes and then realize, oh, I've gone into a very difficult RC, and that comeback is difficult in a 40-minute test, right? So my number one hint is the one passage that you determine to not attempt is the single most determiner of your VRC section. Okay. Now talking about a DLR section, correct? I'm talking about preparation and I'm also talking about the strategy here. One, you have to be familiar with different types of sets, correct? We typically recommend that you should have seen about 200 to 300 sets before the D day, correct? It is a case of recall. What do I mean by that? Suppose you have solved 30 sets where they are given you Venn diagrams and you know how to minimize and maximize, find that answer. What is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? If you have seen such sets before, you will be able to crack that set on the day of the CAT. For you, it's like, okay, let me go back to my directory. There is a file set, Venn diagrams, minimize value. You access that file in your memory and you are able to solve the question, right? But if you're going to see that set for the first time on the day of CAT, chances are you're not going to be able to crack that set. In fact, you should stay away from sets that you have not done before. So build familiarity with sets, correct? Second is, there are some commonly recurring set types. I give an example of 3 set Venn diagram. Last year we had a 4 set Venn diagram appearing in one of my slots. It was in my slot, I remember, slot 3. Correct. Arrangements is a very common set. When it comes to a question where there is a puzzle involved, it is a very common set. So you should be familiar with such sets. It is going to greatly help you. Correct. How is your DLR score going to be determined? It is simply about set selection, and set selection, right? So there are 5 sets given to you, correct? If you look at the number that I put in my first slide, you will see that if you crack 3 sets, you are 95 percentile. If you crack 1.5 sets, you are in the 85 percentile mark. Okay? So what would I suggest to you? Develop your own method on how do you rate a set. When you start the DLR section, don't jump into the first set. Spend the first 5 odd minutes looking at all the 5 sets. Understand which is the most easiest, and the easiest set. So identify 3 sets that you're going to tackle. Now the equation for you is you have 35 minutes and you have to crack 2 to 3 sets. That equation is far simpler to handle rather than saying, okay, I have only 40 minutes and I have to tackle 5 sets. Then people just buckle under the pressure. So spend 5 minutes on set selection and then you can start with your solving. A lot of students ask, sir, I have only 40 minutes. Can I afford to spend 5 minutes selecting a set? My answer is, these 5 minutes is the greatest investment you can do if you spend them on set selection. Entering a wrong set after 10 minutes, you realize, oh, I have done nothing, is going to be a disaster, both for your scores and for your psychology. Rather than that, spend 5 minutes, evaluate what's happening on your DLR section, and then proceed to solving question. So 5 minutes for set selection, 35 minutes to crack a set, 3 sets in a way is how you should look at your DLR. And build familiarity. Your score is proportional to the different types of sets you are going to be familiar and comfortable with. Right. Last section, QA. It will take the majority of your preparation time, I'm sure. Correct. Broadly, we divide QA into 5 modules. I mentioned the names on the screen. Correct. The top 3 is what we call as ARG, arithmetic, algebra, and geometry, also called as the holy trinity of quant. Correct. If you look at last so many years of paper, you will realize that the focus is purely on arithmetic. So if you ask me, sir, which one module should I study? I would say arithmetic. It will help you clear that 80-85 percentile mark. The next 2 modules will be algebra and geometry. Correct. Modern math and numbers were very important a couple of years ago. Now the importance has dropped a bit. I would say if you are not very good with quant, okay, if you are already in a 99 percentile mark, this statement does not apply to you. But if you are not very good at quant and you are struggling with modern math and numbers, it is okay as of now to focus only on the basics and leave out the difficult parts, because the ARG modules, arithmetic, algebra, and geometry, will give you enough number of questions to attempt. Okay. So that's your preparation strategy. Finish off with arithmetic, then go to algebra, then go to geometry. Right. How do we attempt the paper? At IMS, we have a very simple ABC approach. A stands for Abhi Karo, which means you look at a question. If you are sure you can crack this question in under 2 minutes because you know the method, you know the shortcut, you have solved such questions before, let's say on a SimCAT, you approach the question then and there. Correct. So A is Abhi Karo. I am confident that I can solve it in less than 2 minutes. B is Baad Mein Karo. I look at a question. The question looks very familiar. Maybe it's a very long way to reach the answer, or maybe I'm not 100% sure of my entire set or the entire solution path. Then I will say I am going to bookmark this question. I will come to this in the next round of attempt. Correct. So these are questions I'm going to come to it later. C stands for Chhod Do, which means I'm not going to attempt it. Either it is from an area you are very weak at, or the question is very difficult and very unfamiliar. We are not going to spend any time looking at these questions. We are just going to leave it. Right. So how do you approach your quant section? Abhi karo, baad mein karo, chhod do. Okay. If you are able to have a look at all the questions on the QS section, you are using the right strategy. If by any chance your complaint today is okay, I can reach only question number 18, and then I realized, oh, question number 24, 25, 26 are very simple, which means you are following the wrong strategy. You are not using the ABC approach. Okay. So I hope these sectional tips help you. This actually cover most of the questions that as an aspirant you might have. My last point is about test taking. I want to address 2 or 3 common trends here. One, there is a phobia that, and I'm using the word phobia, that students have. They want to wait till I complete my syllabus. You know, I've been training for CAT since 2009. I can tell you with confidence that there will never be a time where you can say I am completely prepared to take a mock. You know, either there is one particular chapter you are weak in, or there are one particular types of questions that you can't comprehend. Right? So don't wait to complete the syllabus. Test taking is a skill that you need to work on. You know, so from now till the day of CAT, you should have a schedule that, okay, maybe for September, every 10 days I'm going to take a test. Maybe for October, every week. Maybe for November, I will do 4 tests a week. Right? So have a preset schedule that you will follow. Most students tend to look at the SimCAT schedule and only make one promise to themselves. That is, I will take the SimCAT during the proctored window. It will take care of your scheduling worries, I would say. Correct. Then there's a reverse problem. A lot of people take a test, but they don't look at anything except their scores and percentile. It's a phenomenal waste of your test taking. Our rule is very simple, that the amount of time you spend on the test should be equal to the amount of time spent on analyzing the test. So if I have done, let's say, a quant test, I will look at, okay, which were the 5 questions I could not solve. Why I could not solve? I will go back to that concept, learn it. Is there a better method available? Why could I not crack it? Okay, suppose the test tells you very clearly that, okay, there were 4 questions in geometry and there were 2 questions on circle which you could not attempt. I will go and check, okay, do I not know the circle chapter? Let me go and hit the concepts. Let me solve 20 questions on circles before I take my next test. Okay, so please learn from the test analysis. Okay. Last part is most toppers. When I say toppers, people who score 95 plus, 99 plus, 99.99 plus. If you ask them, they will always tell you that I have taken X number of mocks. That number is generally being 25, 30. Some people also say 40. Right? Because test taking is a skill. Every time you take a test, you look at 75 new questions. Right? So please focus on test taking, especially if your target is in that 95 percentile and above zone. Last point, please solve fast mock CAT papers. Nothing is closer to a CAT paper as compared to an actual CAT paper. You know, so it tells you exactly, this is what happened in 2019, for example. once you take a test, you can look at the percentile score mapping, and you can then tell yourself, okay, had I taken the test in 2020, I would have scored an 85 percentile for sure, right? So past mock papers is a valuable tool. Please use it to the fullest. Okay? So that would be my 2 cents on your preparation. Um, uh, I'll be happy to take a couple of questions that are available as of now,
Sure.
and I hope I have added some value to your preparation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hemang sir, for brief but I think very relevant comments and talks and preparation strategy. A couple of questions that we've been receiving, not just on this forum, but as mbauniverse.com. One question is
Sure.
with respect to the total number of expected questions that
Correct.
we can expect in the 120-minute exam. Last year it was 76. What is it that we can expect this year?
So Amit, sir, my perspective here is it is going to be, if I have to bet, if I were a betting man, I would have bet on 76 questions coming again. Even if they change, it is going to be a very minor change. So that 76 might become 75, 26 might become 25, so on and so on, because this pattern has only come up last year. So I don't think we should, or they will rather change the format too much, because 2 hour format itself is a new format, and there is no real need for them to experiment with changing too many things. So if when we practice at IMS, we are going to stick to very close to the 76 question format that we had in CAT 2020.
Right. So it is most likely to be between 74, 75 and maybe 77, 70
Yeah,
at the best.
that range.
Huh?
Yeah, that range.
Okay.
No major surprises expected.
No major surprises expected. That should be reassuring for most candidates, and they can ballpark 75 questions and work around that. The other question is that, if someone really you have interacted and you have mentored thousands of students, and you have the experience of seeing their performance, a candidate would have exposure to 3 or 4, 5 students, but you would have exposure to, maybe you can stop sharing the screen, Hemang sir, and we can continue the conversation. Yeah.
Sure.
So in your experience, a good, last minute sprint for the next 100 days, what
Correct.
kind of delta can a person add? So अगर किसी के 70 या 75 या 80 या 85 मार्क्स स्कोर परसेंटेज स्कोर कर रहे हैं, तो सीरियस प्रिपरेशन कितने मार्क्स, कितने स्कोर, कितने परसेंटाइल तक उसको लेके जा सकती है?
So Amit, at IMS we have a very proven method of answering your question. We have tested this on data for X number of years, and it has always worked, I would say. So we have a rule which says halfway to 100 rule, correct? Which means suppose today I'm at 80 percentile, correct? How far I am from 100 is 100 minus 80, 20, correct? So we believe that with consistent performance, half of that will be covered, which means on the day of the CAT, if you are currently at 80 percentile, you are most likely to reach a 90 percentile. I'm talking about averages. Obviously, there are people who do a little better and people who perform a little worse. But on and whole, you move from an 80 percentile to a 90 percentile very easily. Okay. The reason is very straightforward, Amit, for this. The reason is people who are serious at this moment will continue to perform better. On the day of the CAT, you have a lot of other people who are, let's say, taking the CAT for experience. Their real attempt is going to be, let's say, next year or so on and so forth, right?
Right.
So if you just stick to it, you should reach that rule. So just to give you one more example, if you are currently at 90 percentile, 100 minus 90 is 10. You are most likely to add 5 percentile to your performance, which means most likely you will be in the 95 percentile range on the day of the CAT, etc.
Right. So that's a very good thumb rule. 100 minus your current score, and you can then add up, 50% of that.
Yes.
Yeah, half of that. So if you're scoring, तो अगर आप आज 70 percentile score कर रहे हैं, तो आप 30 divided by 2 is 15. तो आप 85 percentile अगर आप अच्छे से करते रहें, तो आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि आप कैट के दिन 85 परसेंटाइल आप स्कोर कर लेंगे. इज दैट राइट?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So I think that that's very useful and reassuring. And we will request Hemang sir, you joining us another time in our next session. So thank you so much. Your
My pleasure.
tips were very good, and modules like ARG and ABC, these are good acronyms to help students remember. So thank you for a interesting and a fun session.
Thank you. Always a pleasure interacting with MBA Universe. It's a great platform for all MBA aspirants.